All right, so when I talk about keeping the ball close to the body, this doesn't mean that we're ever pulling it up our body. What we're essentially doing is we're trying to bring that ball into a point to put ourselves in a position to move that ball through our shot from start to finish without it changing directions. So the more that this ball changes directions, the harder it's going to be to keep our momentum from our body flowing into the basketball, right? So when I start here, I'm never encouraging a player to lift the ball up and try to move it up their body this way. It's never going to make sense. All I'm trying to do is very similar to, I guess, if we were running and pumping our shoulders, is just moving that ball to our point of leverage. So our two most important pieces of leverage, or points of leverage, are going to be when our hips are in this position and have the ability to move up, and when our hand comes to this position here, being able to push up through the basketball, right? So what we're trying to do, think about it at the free throw line, we need to get to that point of leverage quickly, not allowing our hips to come up too early, right? So the longer that it actually takes for us to get to this position, the more likely we're gonna end up bringing our hips up into the equation. So unless you're super disciplined with it, which you can be, right? There's a lot of players that can do it, but unless you're super disciplined with that ball moving backwards and you maintaining this bend or this drop in your hips, it's gonna be much harder to repeat as that ball comes back into a position that you can shoot it and then lifting up with the hips. So all we're doing by starting the ball with the ball close is starting to eliminate some variability. The quicker that we can now get to that point of leverage, the less disciplined we have to be with our lower half. The ball now just has the ability to move to what we call the two position, and as it gets there, now the hips can start to come through, and we can just move that ball from start to finish with just that unbroken momentum we're talking about. So when we keep the ball close, remember, it's not a signal to pull the ball up our body. It's just a way to get us to continue moving that ball in one direction from start to finish